M. Fletcher Brown here with another artist video blog at kicks96country.com. Here on our YouTube channel in the artist video blog section. Please welcome for the first time, despite my memory, to Kicks 96 Studios, our good friend, country artist Joe Hermes. How are you, Joe?
Hey, I'm good. Fletch, how are you? Nice to be here.
Thank you. I'm glad that you took the time to come down. I know that you're familiar with the legacy of Muscle Shoals, but you didn't realize that you were basically here.
Well, I've made it down towards South Pittsburgh and Fort Payne a couple times. I haven't been over to Florence yet, and I keep hearing about Muscle Shoals, and I didn't realize we were that close.
Yeah, just across the river there, man.
You know how it is. You're on the move and going from here to there, and it's like, oh man, we're right there.
Yeah. Well, welcome to what is known as the hit recording capital of the world, Muscle Shoals, and I love meeting anybody who has an appreciation for Muscle Shoals music history, because I live in it every day, and I'm awed by it, and I'm honored and humbled to be a part of this whole legacy here. But I also love, I love music. I'm a lover of music. I was raised in a family of musicians, mostly blues musicians.
Nice.
And my mother grew up listening to, raised me up listening to just everything from blues to country, and my mother was a throwback. She loved all Randy Travis to, Merle Haggard, was her favorite, George Strait, and all that.
Jones.
All that, yes, all of it. That's what I was raised on. So I always like talking music with country artists like you. You got a great sound.
Well, thank you.
You got a brand new single, Skyfall, which, by the way, it's not a cover of that James Bond movie, Sky. It's not that one.
Adele?
Yeah, that was
Adele?
No,
No,
it's not that. No,
No.
Because the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, hey, a country Adele. That's awesome. But then it wasn't, and I felt stupid.
Totally unintentional.
I don't want you to feel like I did. So, but we're going to get to know Joe Hermes real quick. So, all right, Joe, this is your first time here, first time talking to the Kicks audience. So tell us
What's up, everybody?
Tell us really quick, where's Joe Hermes from?
So I'm from Central Illinois, a little small farm town called Hayworth, Illinois, and about 2 hours south of Chicago, 2 hours north of St. Louis. And, I did not grow up in a musical family at all.
Really?
No, not at all. It was a good buddy of mine. We went out for his birthday, and we were playing some music on the jukebox, and I heard a Metallica song, and that made me want to play the guitar. And
Kirk Hammett will do that.
Yes. And so then we convinced my mom to buy me a guitar, and then for the next few years in high school or junior high, that's all me and my buddy did was just jam, learn how to jam, teach each other stuff. And then of course I got into sports with high school, and then kind of did the sports thing and then the music thing, rock bands and whatnot. I always grew up around country music. My mom and dad always had country music on.
Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Huge Toby Keith fan my mom is.
Yeah. Hats off, Toby Keith, yeah.
And, that was one of those things. I was playing in these rock bands. My mom's like, I wish you just play like Toby Keith. And she goes, he was a football player. He's a big guy. And so, Mom, I know you're maybe listening. I'm not sure. But if so, then you're welcome.
I'm with you, Mom. I'm with you.
She, was always there. I stepped away from playing the rock band stuff for quite a while, until I was quite a bit older, and I picked up the acoustic guitar and started songwriting. I had gotten some life under my belt the hard way, and needed a creative outlet for it. And then all of a sudden, guys like John Prine and some of this storytelling, it just all started making sense. And I latched onto it, and my first, I was playing some open mics and stuff. My wife talked me into playing an open mic. Okay. And, kind of conquered that fear of getting up on stage by yourself, and did those for a few years off and on. And then all of a sudden decided, I'm going to try to play a show. Played my first show. And that night, my office manager's good friend at the time was an artist manager out of Nashville, and he happened to be coming through and saw my first show. And he says, man, you know what? You're not too bad. What would you like to do with music? I said, I guess anything I could. And he said, well, tell you what, you got a demo to give me? I said, nothing I really want to hand you. And he says, well, come on down to Nashville. I'll stick you around some friends I know. If you like it, great, we'll keep going. If not, no big deal. I said, all right. So I talked it over with my wife. A month later, I'm down on Music Row in Ocean Way Studios recording a demo with we just talked about Bucky was in
Yeah.
the room before we walked in, and Bucky Covington, that is. And then Buddy Hyatt was putting on the demo sessions, and Buddy had these A players, Brent Mason on guitar, all these guys in this room, and I'm like, heck am I doing here?
Yeah.
Right. But because of that, like just how I am and my football background, I just leaned into it. I'm like, screw it, let's go.
Yeah.
And
it's the way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And next thing I know, we get the demos cut, and then COVID hits. I mean, within months.
Oh, always just breaks my heart whenever they say, and then COVID hit,
and then
you
COVID
know it's
hit.
coming.
And it was like, whoa, that was fun.
Yeah.
Now what? And fortunately, I wasn't done yet. And I, through a mutual friend, got introduced to Dale Oliver, who's a world-class producer, and he took me under his wing, said, I'll manage you, and started putting me around some other writers, and we just started working together religiously. And fast forward 2 years, and we put out an album called Rockin' a Country Town, and that came out last year. And we've been, kind of cutting my teeth on these radio tours and supporting the singles. So Skyfall is the third single off of that album.
Okay.
And, we're going to start rolling out, new music this spring and summer. And that leads us to where we're at.
Absolutely. Well, now Skyfall did hit the country chart back in the fall. I mean, they were just for Thanksgiving in November, right?
Yeah, it was right around then.
All right.
Yep,
So
right after, I think right after Thanksgiving.
And so you've seen that, grow over the last few months, and country radio has gotten a taste of Joe Hermes. Now, is this a song that you wrote, or is this one that maybe another songwriter said, hey, this might be a good fit for you?
So all the music that you'll find, I was either the writer or a big part of the writing process.
Okay.
So
you got a hand in everything.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And I mean, I feel like that's just, I know a lot of people don't always do it that way, but for me,
either way is valid.
For me, it was
just
something that I had to, a guy told me early on, they're like, be careful of what you put out, because you may end up playing that for a long, long time.
That's the truth.
And I was like, well, then I guess it better have quite a bit of me in each song. And Skyfall was one of those. Skyfall, we wrote, it was a time quite like it is still now, with there's the turmoil with politics and the overseas tensions and all of this craziness going on, right? And it's like creating all this anxiety in your mind, and you see it in your friends and your family. And
absolutely, yeah.
And so we were sitting in the room, and it was myself and Dale and Dan Couch, and I said, so say the worst happened, say the sky did fall, what would you do? And we're kind of like, well, I know what I'd do. And the song started to unfold, and it was about just accepting what you can control, be around the people you want to be around, and sit back and enjoy life, because what else are you going to do? You can kick and scream and be upset about it or be freaked out about it, but is that how you want to go out, if that's how it's going to happen?
Yeah.
And just so sit back and let that sky fall. And there was something about it that just kind of put you at ease. And so that's why I want to get it out there and let other people hear it, and maybe they'll find it, to do the same for them.
Absolutely. There's not a lot you can do about all the things that worry you, but I think it's just about putting it in perspective.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what Skyfall is. It's about putting things in perspective.
Yeah. And I mean, we all face trauma and turmoil in our lives, and you never know, you're going to walk out of here right now and something, bang, is going to happen. Well, what good is it? You're going to miss out on hanging out with cool guys like you and Jerry. I mean, if we're always worried about it. And it's just, to me, it was a song worth promoting, and grassroots folks thought the same way. And we had a single out last summer that did pretty well, called Used to Be Me, and that was kind of the same similar premise on that single, but just again embracing what you can control and be around the people you want to be around.
I love that. I love putting things in perspective. Just this week, a friend of mine said something to me that I don't think I'll ever forget. She told me that tomorrow is a memory, or tomorrow's history, I'm sorry, yesterday. Yeah, I'm going to get this right. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. And that's why we call it the present.
That's awesome.
Is that not awesome?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to write that down.
Yeah, I might get that tattooed on me. Wow. That's nice. It's great, isn't it?
I like that.
Joe Hermes is our guest. If anybody heard that and is truly inspired by your story and wants to learn more about you, where on the internet do they go find Joe Hermes?
So Joe Hermes Music is the handle for all the social media. It's Hermes, Hermes, like Hermes, the handbag fashion designer, or in Greek mythology.
Well, that's where I was going. I was going Hermes,
the messenger.
The messenger. Yeah.
And I just tell people, like, that's my stage name. I go by Joe Hermes. So it does, however you guys want to pronounce it, I don't care. Just jump on for the ride, say hi, and man, I'd love to see everybody. So.
All right, so go find Joe Hermes online, visit him on his social media. We're going to get him to play something live here in our studio in just a bit, so look for that performance. And Joe, thanks for visiting, man.
Pleasure.
And you're welcome back in the Muscle Shoals area anytime.
I'll be happy to come back.
All right, we'll see you next time on another artist video blog, Kicks96country.com.
If it's last call, let me love on you, baby, just one more time. Let that sky